What is going on, Ecom Dominators? Cynthia here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the best way to upsell your products, okay? Now, I know a lot of people have been using upsells inside of their store, definitely a great way to increase your average order value, all right? And if you haven't already at upsells, why aren't you? Because it's such a great way to earn that extra revenue from all the traffic that you get to your store, all right? But today I want to talk a little bit about the psychology behind upsells, okay? And I got this idea actually from reading this book, and it's called Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. And it talks a little bit about the psychology of why customers buy, right? Things for specifically for marketers. And I believe that a lot of information that was talked about in this book still applies today for people in retail or even in their own online businesses. All right. So I'm just going to go through the first chapter. I'm not going to talk about the whole book, but they talked a really good point about retail clothing, which if you are in the print-on-demand business, this is literally gold, all right? So I'm going to talk about that one first. So in the first chapter, they talked about when people are selling clothing, all right? You definitely want to start selling the costly items first. So the most expensive item to your customers first. So if someone comes to your store, right? Now, let's talk about the brick and mortar, okay? Someone comes to your store and you are the salesperson, right? You definitely want to go ahead and show them the most expensive item, okay? It could be a $500, dress or a, $1,000 suit or whatever, okay? Because the idea of it is so when they do purchase that expensive things, they can actually purchase other tiny accessories before they check out, and they don't seem to be that much more expensive, okay? Because they've already purchased such an expensive amount in the beginning. So this in the book, it talked about a good example. So say for an example, a man comes to the store and they buy a $495 suit, okay? So let's just go here. Someone comes to the store and they're going to buy a $495 suit, right? So as a marketer that you are, they're going to upsell them, okay? This is the upsell for a $95 sweater, okay? And what are the chances that that customer will purchase this sweater? Very, very high, because first off, the salesperson showed them this suit, okay? So they're going to show them a item that has a lower value than the first one. They're going to more likely take up on that because it doesn't seem to cost as much. Now, say for an example, you sell them something a little bit more expensive, maybe a more expensive suit that costs, I don't know, $1,000, right? Their chances on taking up this offer is a lot lower than taking up on a something that costs a lot less, all right? So in here it says he will almost always pay more for whatever accessories he buys if he buys them after the suit purchase than before, okay? So the psychology behind it, if it becomes after you show them the most expensive item, they're more likely to purchase it, okay? So really, really amazing way to run your own Shopify store, okay? You don't actually need a brick and mortar store, okay? If you have it set up right. So say for an example, okay, you are running an ad, okay? So let's just say I'm running an ad to a hoodie, okay? Now that hoodie may cost about, I usually charge $39.99, okay? And on their way to checkout, I'm going to do an upsell, okay? And that upsell could be a t-shirt, okay, which I'll usually sell for $22.99, or it could be a mug, which you can charge, $14.99, or a pillow, however you want, $19.99. And as you can see that the pricing on the upsell is a lot less than the pricing for the hoodie, okay? So if you're still struggling with your products, print on demand, and nobody taking up your upsells, definitely start advertising a much more expensive item, okay? So it doesn't have to be a hoodie. It could be other things like seat covers. Okay, those are very expensive. Canvases. Okay, necklace. Okay, if you're doing this right, you can actually increase the price of necklaces. Jewelry have a higher perceived value, so it's actually a really, really good product. Okay, so there's so many more things here. You just have to do your research on what products to promote. Okay, but like I said, if you're still struggling, try to find a very, very expensive item to sell them in the front end so that you can make more profit in the back end. Now, what I usually do for my upsells, I usually just try to, push a t-shirt, okay? And then I was like, hey, why don't you grab this hoodie? Hey, I try to upsell them more expensive stuff, and I haven't found a lot of success when I try to upsell an expensive item, but I have seen, now that I have read this book, that if I try to upsell them on a cheaper item, people are more likely to add that to cart, all right? Now, to give you another example inside this book that I want to talk about, and that is for automotive dealers, okay? Now with them, it's it's the same process. It's still retail. You're still trying to sell the car. Now they're saying that the trick is to bring up extras independently of one another so that each small price will seem petty. All right. Now here's the example they give you. Say someone comes into your dealership wanting to buy a car. Okay. So say they do purchase that car, but you can also upsell them on other accessories, okay? So things like tinted windows, side view mirrors, different tires or trims or whatever accessories that go with cars. Try to upsell on that, okay? Now, of course, those tiny small parts that goes with the car is definitely going to cost less than the actual car itself, but most people are more inclined to add that, to the purchase because they've already seen the most expensive item, all right? So this kind of gets you thinking about the psychology of why customers buy and what they do buy once they do purchase that more expensive item, all right? So, this was definitely a great book. I actually learned a lot. I'm actually halfway through this book, so, but in the second chapter, they talk about reciprocity, which is actually a very important concept in marketing. In reciprocity is point where you give something to someone, okay, and they're more likely to return the favor. And people say, what exactly does that mean? Well, here's an example, okay. If you ever go to Costco, you see them hand out those free samples. Well, that's their way of utilizing the concept of reciprocity, right? I'm going to give you like a free sample, so whether it's like a free food or something like that, they'll taste it. People are more likely to purchase that product when they have, be given that free sample. Now, that doesn't happen all the time, but believe me when I say Costco will not still be handing out those free samples if they aren't making a profit in the back end, okay? They're still doing it till today because it works, okay? Whenever you offer somebody something for free, they are more likely to purchase whatever you have to sell them on the back end, all right? And of course, that you can obviously apply that to your business. A lot of people still ask me, hey, Cynthia, does free plus shipping still work? Absolutely. If you can do it right, free plus shipping still works, okay? And it works the same way using this concept of reciprocity. You're going to give someone, a free product, okay, aka free product. It's not really free because they also have to pay for shipping, but if you offer them a free product, they're more likely going to return the second time to purchase other full price items from you, okay? So those are just a few tips that I want to share with you today, just to kind of get, thinking about how you're going to structure your sales funnel when you are driving traffic to your Shopify store. Don't think about just selling the products in the front end. Think about how you're going to be selling the products also in the back end, all right? All right, guys, so I hope this video was helpful today. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. If you did, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel. And as always, if you have any questions, the best way to contact me is obviously through my Facebook group. I go in there every day to answer all of your questions. Links will be down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.